So everybody wants to know, what's it like living on Phuket? Well, living on Phuket is absolutely incredible. It's amazing. Living in Patong, that's another story altogether. Living in Patong is fine. That's the best way to put it. It's just fine. Why, hello there. Listen, guys, that seems to be a lot of the problem here is it's fine. And what I mean by that is the beach is beautiful if you're comparing it to places in Canada. But here on Phuket, Patong Beach is just fine. When you compare it to Nai Harn, which has some of the most beautiful beaches in the entire world, Patong Beach, it's just fine. When you compare the culinary cuisine scene of Patong to Nai Harn or Bang Tao or even Surin for that matter, it's just fine. The food is not great. It's abundant and it's cheap, but it's just fine. It's not spectacular. The nightlife here, again, it's just fine. It's average. It's not like it was 2 or 3 years ago when it was crazy and insane. Now, to be honest with you, it's pretty boring, and you can get the same experience by going out to, well, Nai Harn, Rawai, Bang Tao especially. The beach bar scene in Bang Tao is a lot more enjoyable than Bangla Road is. Bangla Road, to be honest with you, is just fine. So the biggest problem is we add up everything that's fine about living in Patong, and what do we get? We get a whole lot of fines. And that, my friends, is the biggest problem and the biggest complaint I have about living here in Patong. It's the fines. I'm going to tell you something. Patong is completely different than any other area here on Phuket because the police are everywhere with roadblocks, and they're giving us fines for almost anything they can think of. And it's not like that in Nai Harn. When you go to Nai Harn, it's completely different because there's no roadblocks. There's no police setting up, just absolutely robbing you and stealing your money. And I hate to say it, but that's what they're doing here in Patong. It's almost criminal what they're doing. So listen, I've lived here now for almost a year and a half, and of that 18 months, I've spent at least 13 here in Patong. I like it here because it's a good location for me to leave to. It's close to the airport. It's close to the beaches that I like. But man, these roadblocks and the police are really getting on my nerves. I have got fines that you cannot imagine, and I've got some fines that are absolute bullshit. Straight up, just going to tell you something. If you're driving here, it's driver beware, because the police are looking for any reason to fine you and to get bribes from you. It is insane. 2 weeks ago, I was really upset about this. This is the first time I'm sharing it on YouTube. I left my condo. I was going to pick up a pizza. I stopped at a spot check and they asked me to blow into the tube, and I blew red. Now, I hadn't had a drink for 3 days, and this is a true story, okay? So I said to the cop, I said, listen, that's impossible. Let me blow again. I blow again, it goes red. So he says to me, you are impaired, you big trouble, you follow me to the police station. Now, that was my first clue that something was wrong, when apparently I'm impaired, according to him, but he wants me to follow him on my motorbike. So he's asking me to drink and drive. And I said to him, I said, dude, you want me to follow you? Shouldn't I be going with you or something? Like, what the hell is going on? Then he's like, oh, yes. You park here, you come with me. So he doesn't take me to the police station. He drives me the complete opposite way and stops and says, you go jail 2 days, 25,000 baht, or you talk to me. Well, we know what talking meant, don't we? So there I am sitting at the side of the road with this cop, and he's telling me that I'm looking at 2 days in prison plus a 25,000 baht fine which is about 750 US, little around $100 Canadian, or I can work something out with him. Again, I have not been drinking, so I said to him, I said, well, listen, I said, can we go to the station and I'll blow into a proper machine? And he goes, you already blew twice, Red. You are impaired. And again, I hadn't had a drink in 3 days, guys. 3 days. By the time it was all over, it cost me 2,540 baht, which is, again, about $80 US. And I was none too happy. He took me back to the spot check, and all of the cops that were there watched me get on my bike and drive away, even though I was supposedly impaired. So look, I'll be the first person to admit this. I should have had probably 20, maybe 120 tickets for my driving, because I'm an absolute psychopath on this thing. I have learned to embrace the driving culture here, and I'm nuts. And I deserve tickets probably every single day. If I was getting fines for something that was legitimate, it would not bother me at all, because, well, I know I'm an absolute idiot. It's when you get fines for stuff that is just absolute, that's when it's not so much fun, to be honest with you. I've had my bike chained twice on me now. They chain your bike, so you have to go to the police station and pay the fine and get them to come and take the chain off your bike. And it's a parking violation. So I've got two now. One, I was parked in front of Big C, and on the curbs they have these red and white markings, and you're not allowed parking there. So my bike, literally, here's the last of the red and white. My tire is right on the edge of it, but my back tire apparently was across it. And they chained my bike and charged me 800 baht for that. I was so upset, it was crazy, because you could clearly see I was parked what anybody in their right mind would have thought was legal. And then I got a fine on 200-year road. I parked my bike on the side of the road beside a whole bunch of other bikes. There was no red and white markings, and there were probably 12 to 15 bikes beside me. And they chained my bike for no reason at all. The cop would not tell me why. He just told me to shut my mouth and go to the police station and pay the fine. So I had to walk all the way back to the police station, which took me about 15 minutes in the blistering heat. And then I had to walk all the way back because they wouldn't give me a drive. Told me instead to order a taxi, which I took really, really well, let me tell you. And that one was 500 baht. For no reason. I have no idea why I got a fine. Welcome to Patong. Now, just in case that wasn't enough for you, I got more. 2 weeks ago, right after this episode, I'm driving and I go through a spot check, and all of a sudden I find out that my driver's license is not stamped for a motorbike, and I get a 1,000 baht fine, which is $30 American. I'm not happy about it because I've been through these spot checks at least 150 times. I've had the police look at my driver's license 100 times. I've had fines many, many times. And now all of a sudden I'm being fined because my driver's license doesn't have the stamp for a motorbike. That's fine. I can at least accept that fine because I've done something wrong. However, when I go to the police station, the cop was really shitty towards me, so I said, look, I'm going to come back because I didn't want to argue and fight. I'm talking to a friend of mine, and she says to me, listen, she goes, I can help you. I'll go to the police station. I'll talk to them. I'll get the fine reduced to 500 baht. She says, that's what it should have been, was about 500 baht. So I'm like, you know what? Cool. Let's give that a shot. Thank you. I appreciate it. So we go to the police station, she goes in, and she's in there for about 15 minutes, and she comes out, and she is absolutely pissed. And I'm like, I guess we didn't get the fine reduced. Yeah, she did get it reduced. She got it reduced down to 500 baht like she said she would. However, she had to admit that she was driving the bike because this is the way that it works here. Even though it's my license, she had to admit that she was driving the bike. When she admitted that she was driving the bike, the cop then asked to see her helmet, which she did not have, and fined her 800 baht for not having a helmet. Oh my God. Oh my God. My first week here in Thailand, I actually got pulled over in Chalong because I went through one of the underground tunnels, which you're not allowed to do on a motorbike. And I know that now. I didn't know it at the time. And my stupid GPS took me through the tunnel. It even told me to go through the tunnel. And anyways, I got pulled over, which was fine. The cop looked at my license, said nothing about the fact it was not stamped for a motorbike, takes me back to the police station and let me negotiate from 1,000 baht fine down to 30. Yes, how funny is that? They let me negotiate my ticket down 70%, which for me was a hilarious experience. But they were great about it. That's the difference. Chalong, fantastic. Phuket, it's just fine. That's all I got to say about it. So listen, guys, as I admitted earlier, I'm an absolute psycho on the bike. I'm nuts. I'm crazy. The only thing crazier than my driving are the lengths that I will go to prove a point. I actually drove all the way from Patong here to Phang Nga Bay on the mainland. Yes, I drove all the way off of Phuket Island just to prove a point. Because this morning when I left Patong, I ran into two roadblocks. One about 30 seconds away from my condo, and the other one when I was leaving Patong. Since then, I have not seen a single roadblock, and I've driven through 4 cities, 3 villages, 2 towns, 2 rice fields, and I'm pretty sure I drove through someone's flower garden. They were kind of nice to me. They didn't shoot me. They didn't yell at me. They just kind of went, hey, like this. Go figure. They are living their best life. And obviously I am too, at the absolutely incredible viewpoint of Samset Nang Shi here in Phang Nga Bay. It is, well, they say the most incredible, most beautiful vista in the world, and I have to agree with them. So until next time, kids, live your best life, stay off the streets, or driver beware in Patong, and cheers.